Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of In the School Parking Lot. I'm your host. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach me at my email address, and I wish you would. It's BAND, the number 2, band together at Comcast.net. Also, go to our website, which is conductingmylife.com. You'll see that I'm an author, speaker, trainer, and coach. I used the material from John Maxwell. And who's John Maxwell? He's a New York Times bestselling author. Does a wonderful job giving us great lessons about leadership and just being better people. You can hire me to come out and do private lessons or work with your group. I'm able to do both secular and sacred. Yeah, Pastor Maxwell, Dr. Maxwell, has got wonderful tools using the Bible. So either way, please give us a call. So what's the premise for In the School Parking Lot? Well, in April of 2021, the principal of my school, I'm a school teacher, I've been one since 1989, said to me, Paul, I hate to tell you this, you got to keep Jesus Christ in the parking lot. Same man becomes part of the Human Resources Department, and on October 6th, he said to me, this is October 6th, 2021, he goes, hey, Paul, you can't say I love you to your students anymore. That's unprofessional. And I don't care about your First Amendment rights. Get off social media. So the union said nothing. I went, wow, the union doesn't support you. Then you're really done. So that's my thought about the union. Today is June 22nd. We're on episode 16. This is June 22nd, 2016. I found this from Heather Hunter. Heather Hunter writes this on the 5th of June, 2024. Maryland school pressured stop enforcing saluting the American flag. That's what it is. Here we go. A free speech nonprofit organization claimed victory on Tuesday after it demanded that an elementary school in Frederick County, Maryland, not mandate that students and staff participate in the Pledge of Allegiance. After pressure from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, that is FIRE, usually I agree with them, the school reversed its previous stance that students were required to perform the pledge. Stephen Jablonski, FIRE Senior Program Officer, said in a statement, quote, the First Amendment protects not only your right to express yourself, but also the right to refrain from doing so. That includes refusing to salute the flag. Mandatory patriotism is no patriotism at all. Hey, who am I to disagree with that statement? The pledge issue arose when school officials at Twin Ridge Elementary School in beautiful Mount Airy, Maryland, emailed its staff to clarify their policy about reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. The email explained that all students and teachers were required to stand and face the flag, and while standing, give an approved salute and recite in unison the Pledge of Allegiance according to the Maryland Education Code. And believe it or not, I live in Roseville, California. You gotta believe that. Believe it or not, the state of California also said you're supposed to show a sign of patriotism. And also it says, too, look at the Education Code. Don't believe me, do it. God, just do it. And then the other thing, because again, don't believe what I say. Go check it for yourself. And I think it says something, too, about teaching communism is illegal, or it goes against the Education Code. Check that one out too, okay? Check it out. Check us out, man. Don't take everything as truth. Check it out. Trust yet verify, Ronald Reagan. So where do I stand on this? Well, I teach at a charter school now in, the charter school central is Roseville, but there's El Dorado Hills and there is Lincoln. So this is in Northern California to all you people that are living in I'm Alone, Wisconsin. And it's named after a famous president. I don't tell you what charter school I'm teaching at. Google or Bing or whatever you search, DuckDuckGo, whatever. Paul Everts, you'll see where I'm at. And that charter school, every day, Pledge of Allegiance, followed by this reciting the school's 10 core values, followed by a quote, and then we sing a patriotic song, and then we all go to classes. So I believe in school choice more and more, and I think FIRE would too. Hopefully that FIRE, I'm not going to disagree with them. I will disagree with them in this part, though. Children need to learn how to be patriotic. We're seeing that what happens. We've lost almost a generation because we aren't saying the Pledge of Allegiance. We aren't doing patriotic songs. How do children learn how to be patriots? We teach them, that's how. And, we've had this child-centered model education for too long now. I think it's like we're in year 60 of this, where the child is the center of the classroom, where the teachers have abdicated their authoritarian role, okay? Lack of a better term. They've given up their authority in the classroom. They've turned it over to the children. That's not cool. No. And again, I'm thinking that most of these parents aren't, or most of these teachers aren't parents. They wouldn't do such a thing. So, Fire, I disagree with you on this one only because it involves children and that we should be teaching them how to be patriotic. They don't know how to be. That's why it's mandatory. So, okay, that's where I stand on it. And I'm grateful to work at a school that is not anti-patriotism. Yes, I consider this to be anti-patriot. I do. Well, how's it pro-patriot? I mean, I love your quote. It's a very cool quote. Mandatory patriotism is no patriotism at all. I think for adults, that's true. I think for children, they got to learn what patriotism is. And as they become older, they can choose to be patriots or not. That's why I find this to be not a healthy decision. All right, moving on. We're working out this book right here. I have another 7 minutes or so. Crimes of the Educators by Samuel Blumenfeld and Alex Newman. I guess the subtitle is How Utopians Are Using Government Schools to Destroy America's Children. Take it where you will. Chapter 10. I don't read the whole chapter to you. I just read a couple things I've highlighted, underlined, and once you get the book and you read it for yourself. Again, teachers are not getting this material. Colleges of Education, why would they give this? You know, they don't want you to know there's another side to education. The victims of educational malpractice, quote for this chapter is by David Mamet from his book, I guess, The Secret Knowledge. I Loathed the School. David Mamet, The Secret Knowledge, 2011. The great tragedy in America is that the vast majority of Americans who acquire school-induced dyslexia, yes, they think that dyslexia is school-induced, dyslexia are unable to develop their full potential as productive human beings. They are denied the rich cultural heritage to be found in books. Many remain stuck in the underclass for the rest of their lives. Others struggle to get and keep good jobs. But in America, where free enterprise offers the ambitious, unlimited opportunities to build businesses that thrive, and that is for now, that's why we need to keep America, America. High achievers have found ingenious ways to get around their school-acquired reading handicap, and many of them keep their illiteracy a secret. This was the case with self-made millionaire Jay Thiessen, owner of a successful manufacturing company, B&J Machine and Tool. Louis Schiff wrote in his book, Business Brilliant, quote, for most of his life, though, Thiessen harbored what he called a little secret. The secret was that Thiessen was illiterate. Thanks to few lenient teachers and a lot of vocational classes, he, that would be again Thiessen, Jay Thiessen, was handed a high school diploma in 1962, despite the fact that he could not read. Over the ensuing years, he, Jay Thiessen, developed a kind of mental block about reading, and by the age of 56, he still could not make his way through a children's book. Thiessen never knew that he was a victim of school-induced dyslexia. Schiff wrote further, quote, Thiessen's story is an extreme example of a very commonly observed fact. A lot of entrepreneurs were poor students when they were young and had particular difficulties with reading and writing. A 2007 study concluded that about 35% of U.S. small business owners suffer from some form of dyslexia, compared with about 10% of the general population and just 1% of corporate managers. Okay? And he goes on to say other things. Let's go to Henry Winkler. The actor Henry Winkler, another victim of school-induced dyslexia, was able to achieve great success as an actor despite his dyslexia. He says of his schooling, quote, it was extraordinarily difficult. It was like climbing Mount Everest with no clothes on. I didn't get math. Reading is still difficult. Spelling out of the question, I had teachers who literally had no time or patience. However, Henry Winkler didn't realize he was dyslexic until he was an adult. He says, Henry Winkler, was 31. My stepson was in third grade and was diagnosed. It was then that I realized, oh my goodness, that was me. Then I saw I had been saying to him all the things that were said to me. You're so smart, so verbal. You're just lazy. I learned just to be quiet and support him. Be the most supportive that we can possibly be with kids with learning disabilities. Children's feelings about themselves when they meet with frustration again and again can become so damaged and brutalized. In other words, Henry Winkler accepted the notion that there is nothing wrong with the teachers or the schools. The problem is that many children, like Henry Winkler's stepson, are born with learning problems that the schools cannot properly deal with. The idea that these problems are deliberately caused by the whole word reading programs in the schools never even crossed Henry Winkler's mind. Why, you might ask? The idea is too incredible. As we have said, it is easier to believe a credible lie than an incredible truth. Playwright David Mamet wrote of his school experience in a way that probably echoes the experiences of millions of children. He wrote following, I loathe school. I never opened a school book. I failed every test given to me. I was sent back from second to first grade and was enrolled in remedial reading classes. It never occurred to me to point out the books that occupied all my leisure time and suggest that perhaps they left one little time for Dick and Jane. Oh, Dick, see Spot run. Run, Spot, run. Jane, see Spot run, etc. The habit inculcated at school and at home of thinking myself a failure persisted throughout my school career. I'll read the last paragraph. Despite all attempts to expose the criminal educators who have deliberately turned perfectly healthy, intelligent American children into dyslexics, their crimes are still being committed every day in American schools. What is needed is for parents of these dyslexics to organize into a group and sue the public education system by means of a class action suit. So far, the courts have rejected lawsuits by individual dyslexics against the education system. But a class action suit might fare better in our courts of law. My goodness. Okay, that's what I have for today. There's a lot